Hi, everyone. Yesterday in class, we began the periodic table of elements. So we will be working off your Google Classroom in week 6 in the same assignment through Thursday. So you're going to open periodic table slides to find all your resources for this assignment. So for yesterday, you were supposed to color and paste in your notebook the periodic table copy from class. If you don't remember the directions or were absent, there is a video right here for you. If you're ready for step 2, here we go. Today we are going to add some labels to your periodic tables. By the end of class today, we will have added a few things. So the first thing I want you to look at here, if you can see my mouse, is the key that is supposed to match somewhat from the slide, the title slide of the slideshow. So you have a color for metals, and you can clearly see that metals are your largest number of elements. You also have a color for metalloids, which should be to the right-hand side in a stair-step kind of fashion. Metalloid means kind of like a metal and kind of not like a metal. We will discuss this in class. And then you have your non-metals in a color all the way over to the right-hand side. The next thing we are going to draw today in class is this zigzag stair-step line. So any color that you can find that would be a bold color such as this, and if you want to pause the video and make sure that you are correctly placing this line. Okay. This line helps us identify those, what we call metalloids, which means they have characteristics of metals and they have characteristics of nonmetals. After the zigzag line, we will look here at our solids, liquids, and gases. If you were confused on this, it is okay. Here, let me explain. So the key says solids, and then it gives you the example of sodium, Na, as the solid. And it's the font of the color. And color. So your periodic table is all black and white before we colored it. So everything in there is pretty much labeled as a solid unless we choose otherwise, which we will do with liquids and gases. Liquids. There are 3 of them. It is red on the title slide. Yours can be any color. Follow the arrow of my mouse down here, and you will see the first 2 liquids that are on the periodic table. Okay. And then if you move up and over to the right, you will see the 3rd liquid. So in any way that you can mark those boxes, you see I used somewhat of a square. You could use a circle, a triangle, anything you can make for yourself, and the key that tells you that those are liquids. And finally, gases. So you can see in the on the title slide, gases were represented with a white colored font, but we are not able to do that on paper. So any color that you can pick, we are going to put a dot, a large dot, in the tile or square of the elements that are gases. So you can see that I started, if you look way over here to the left, you have hydrogen. That's a gas, so it gets a dot. But that's the only one on this entire side. You're going to jump all the way over to the right, and I want you to look slowly down the far right-hand column, and you'll see those are all gases. Right next to there, you have 2 gases in the column 17, 1 gas in 16, and 1 gas in 15. So if you want to stop the video and make sure that you are labeling those in some way, that will help you remember that those are gases. The next thing we are labeling today are 2 words that describe the arrangement. They are on the outside of the periodic table. Your copy in class had arrows for you already. You are going to write the word groups on the side by hydrogen, okay? What groups means is the name of the column. So all of the up and down columns are called groups. They are numbered: group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, and so on, all the way over to 18. There are 18 groups. These are arranged by the atomic number. You notice that it moves upwards as you move down. The atomic number from your notes is the number of protons. It is the whole number above the letters. The other word that you need to see is the word periods down at the bottom. Periods are the names for the rows. So you see these long rows of the periodic table. Those are the periods, okay? Also called families. This is the showing of the atomic mass. So if you remember from your notes, the atomic mass or mass number is the total mass, or if you like the word weight, even though it's not exactly the same, of the protons and neutrons in the nucleus. The next thing that we will label, you can kind of see are a light blue on mine. So we have this column right here is column 1 or group 1. And below that, I have the word alkali metals. ALKALI. It's a kind of metal. We will talk about these in class because they have some really cool reactions with water. If you jump way over to the other side, you will see that column 18 or group 18 is called the noble gases. Noble, N-O-B-L-E. So that's what you would label those. Then right here, all of these in the middle are called transition metals. And I've written that right here, transition metals. And then down near the bottom, the segment that comes out from a space so that the periodic table can fit on one page or one poster. These are called rare earth metals. Rare earth metals. And finally, in our labeling, we are going to circle, or in some way, I used a circle. If you look up here, these are the 5 most common elements of living things. And so starting way over to the left, we have a circle around hydrogen, and then jump way back over and we have a circle around the C for carbon, the N for nitrogen, the O for oxygen, and the S for sulfur. So those are our molecule elements that are most common seen in living things. There is also a checklist for labeling that I have just gone through in order. If you wanted to make a copy of this checklist and use it to make sure that you have all of the labeled items, you can do that. It is a tool to help you make sure you have it correctly. This covers the labeling of the periodic table.